There was a guy who was raising equity and he was already losing in business. He was already losing in his business. And the interesting thing, this gentleman, he came up to me. I was hosting a conference. I used to run conferences about helping people raise equity to be able to support somebody so that it was easier on them to raise private money so that they can close on more real estate deals. And I had this guy, and he's an Indian man. When I say that, I mean Eastern Indian man who had been in syndication or apartment investing. He bought large apartments. He had been doing that for 10 years plus. I don't remember exactly because it's been a minute since I had this conversation. I just remember that he had gone full, what they say is called full cycle. Full cycle meaning that basically he bought a property and he took it, all the way to the 3 to 6 years that you normally take it. And he improved it and then sold it for a huge profit. And he and his past investors made a lot of money. He had done more than 2 full complete cycles. So he had gotten people into his deal and then he gave them their money back a few years later. And then he got those same people back into another deal. And then a few years later, he returned all their money plus a humongous amount of earnings. So his passive investors, his LPs or limited partners, were very, very happy with him. But as he got to my conference, he said this to me. He said, "Adam, I'm in trouble. I have a deal that I need to close and I still need to raise $2 million more. So that you understand, when it comes to this syndication thing, $2 million is not a lot of money to raise. It isn't very challenging. It is not very difficult to raise $2 million. And so I was surprised. I figured maybe he had raised 8 of 10 million and he just had $2 million left. And I was going to say, "You are fine." This is what I said. I said, "Great. That's not bad. When do you need to close by?" And he said, 2 weeks. I was like, "Ooh, 2 weeks, $2 million in 2 weeks. It absolutely can be done. But you're kind of under the gun." I said, "How much have you raised so far?" And he said, "I've raised $1 million. I was like, "This raise is only $3 million. And he's like, "Yeah." And I go, "Well, how are you so far behind?" And it's interesting what this guy said to me. He said, "All of my investors are now investing with people that have podcasts." And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah." And this guy was furious. He was actually upset because he knew that he had integrity. He knew that he had gone full cycle on multiple deals. He knew that he was doing things the right way. And he knew that he had been working with the same investors multiple times. And out of nowhere, his investors that he's had for a long, long time, they're investing with what he called newbies. He felt like they were newbies. He felt like they were going to lose the money. He felt like they didn't have the experience that he had. So why were his investors not investing with him? If he was so good, why were his investors putting their money with someone else? In this case, people, and you in your coaching business, you in your consulting business, you as an attorney, you as somebody who's raising equity, your people, the people that work with you and have always worked with you and want to work with you, to think about this, think about 4 wheels. You got a car or a wagon as I think when this came up, we were talking about wagons, but you got a car, it's got 4 wheels. And if one of those wheels is squeaking, if just one of them is making some noise, where are you going to put your attention? You're going to put your attention at the squeaky wheel. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. I don't know if you've ever heard that. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. And the squeaky wheel in this analogy right now is the person with a thought leadership platform. The squeaky wheel is the person who's staying in front of your investors, your clients. If you're not putting out the value that they're looking for, they are going to get it from somebody And then that's the person who's going to get all of the money from that person. So I want to talk about something that I mentioned to this guy. I basically told him, I'm sorry. If you don't have a podcast, if you're not active on social media, if you think that you can just be hidden, you're mistaken. Gary Vaynerchuk has already said that you need to be active at this. And he said, if you're not doing this by 2024, you're going to lose in business.